The Joe Rogan Experience.
You were saying that it's almost a little bit of a relief.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to really explain, but you get to a certain point to where people start putting expectations on you. They start like, oh yeah, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Yeah, you're this, you're that. To where I didn't get into it for all of that. I was never attached to the title. Now, as weird as that sound, I was never attached to it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm champion. I got to hold on to this. I got to hold on to this. I got to hold on to this. No, and I've said it before, and I continue to say it. In my head, each and every time I was fighting for that title or defending that belt, I was fighting for the title. I was a contender in my head. I felt like that. I have to go contend for this belt each and every time. So, because I feel like when you're defending, you're tight. Now you're all defense. You're not thinking offense. You just want to... anything to hold on to this, anything to hold on to this. I was never really like that. So when everyone felt like kind of started putting expectations like, oh, you're about to break this record. I didn't even know what Anderson Silva's record was until like before last fight, where everyone started saying, oh yeah, you're about to break the Anderson Silva's record, or you're about to tie this. And you already broke George St. Pierre's record. I don't care. I don't give a shit. The last time I cared about the number was when I was 5-1 and I was about to get into the UFC. It's like, yeah, I'm 5-1. Damn, Rashad went on like a 15-fight win streak one time. Damn, I wish I could do something that great. But Rashad even told me at that point, he's like, just take it fight at a time. As long as you worry about that next fight and that next fight and that next fight, they'll add up. And so, yeah, it was almost like a relief of expectations of everyone's pressure of, oh yeah, you're the GOAT this, you're the GOAT that. That's relative. That's a relative, like, it's hard to argue that situation because George St. Pierre was the greatest in his era. With what he had to deal with, the opposition he had to deal with, he was the greatest, hands down. And, when George St. Pierre kind of moved aside, Woodley was that guy. And then Robbie had a stint there where Robbie was that guy. So, and Pat Miletich had a stint when he was that guy. So did Matt Hughes. And so to say, oh yeah, that guy's the GOAT, that's relative because styles make fights. Because when I was knocked out, I was like, my eyes were open, which was the craziest thing to me. Now that I've watched the fight over maybe like 10 times, and my eyes were open, which was weird. And so people would like screen grab that and make a fake page with that as the avatar and have a page dedicated to that. Like, you got knocked out, you got this, for them to take time out of their day, I'm like, shit, I'm special. Like,
but mostly people that don't have a good life.
It's weird to me.
If they did have a good life, I don't have the time to do that shit. How do they have the time to do that shit?
Yeah, I don't have time to even scroll through that. Rather than go out of your way to make a page and just because, but they think that bothers me. But it's funny to me. It was funny.
It made you laugh.
It made me laugh. And Did
you see the photo of me interviewing you in the middle of the head kick?
I almost posted that yesterday. Oh shit! I'm gonna post that. I was like, Joe, gotta get that interview.
that one's so rough.
No, it was what an experience though.
What do you remember after the head kick?
Oh man, this is I was dreading talking about this, but not in a bad way, but it's funny to me. So the fight is going, and there's a zone that I've learned to put myself in, and my coaches can kind of attest to this, like, because I do it even in training. There's a way that I train, that I practice, to where I try to get myself into the zone, which is as similar to a fight experience as I can be, and to where I try not to be bothered by anything that's going on. And my body has adjusted and gotten used to this. So in the first round, the fight's going on, and boom, that situation happens. He hooked my legs, and this is my bad knee. Well, my not so good knee, but both of them aren't the greatest. But so I'm like, okay, let me hip him through. So I tried to hip him through, but he just had great position. Kudos to him. And I get taken down. That I probably was more upset about. Giving up that takedown. I was like, fuck. I gave up a takedown. So we get done and he tries he takes it back and I'm just chilling and waiting for the bell, and the bell goes off and I get up. And I didn't realize this until I watched the fight back over. I get up and I was kind of smiled. I get up and I jogged back to my corner. But I look at it and I'm like, okay, I know that's where I was at that time. I was in that zone to where I'm unbothered by whatever is happening. I am going to make this be whatever I want it to be. And so the next round, I just take off and I just start kind of wailing on him. And so by the 5th round, I kind of have him in a spot to where I'm just like, I never think, okay, yeah, I've got the fight won. Let me just coast. Let me hold on to him and win. I never think that. I want to, if I can get the finish, I'm gonna try to get that finish, and I want to do something spectacular. I'm like, okay, we're gonna take a risk here. We're gonna do something great. And I remember, and this is the great thing about Trevor Whitman in the training camp. We work on certain techniques to kind of put him where you want him, and get him out of there. Like even in the Masvidal fight, like everyone, the knockout just happened. No, I set him up for the knockout. People didn't realize I did the same sequence in the first round that I did to finish him. And so I start that with Leon, because I've kind of got Leon in a place now to where I could kind of really kind of dictate whatever I wanted to do. And so we get him, and I get him up, and I think Herb breaks us from the cage. So we're moving, and I'm trying to set him up, and I'm trying to get his feet moving. I wasn't doing the greatest of job, this is all on me, and I'm trying to get his feet moving. You see me change levels. And what I wanted to do was set him up, and I was going to throw the punches that he couldn't see, and I wanted to sit him down and get him out of there. I wanted to throw him with conviction and really get, like I did with Masvidal, and get him out of there. And so I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake left, shake right, and then I'm going to let him go. But I got to get him moving first. And I didn't do a great job of that. And so I'm moving. I'm like, okay, I got him set up. All right, which I really didn't. I shake left, I shake right, and I'm sitting in the ambulance, and they're asking me, do you know where you're at? I'm like, what the fuck?
That's what you remember? You remember waking up in the ambulance?
Yeah, I was awake, but I remember coming to in the ambulance.
So you had been awake because you were walking around, but you were still
I
gone.
was good. Yeah, I was good. I watched the fight over. I'm good. I was talking. I talked to Trevor. I talked to, everyone. I apparently, because, you go back and then you go in the medical tent and they take care of you and all of that.
You don't remember any of that.
And they talked to me. I talked to my family. I hugged everyone because it was on video and everything. I remember sitting. It was like Leon gave me like a 20-minute nap. Which was it was. I think about, and I was laughing hysterically in the hospital because I had to go in just to get scanned and all of that, which everything was fine. So it's like immediately I come to, I'm in the ambulance. They're asking me, do you know where you are? I'm like, yeah, Salt Lake City, UFC 278. They're like, what's your date of birth? I'm like, I answer, I'm 5'11", and they were like, wow, perfect. I answered everything perfectly. They're like, oh, we still need to take you to the hospital just to get you scanned and everything like that. I was like, all right, fine. So we go to the hospital to get scanned and everything. But I was already good. I was okay. I was maybe disappointed that I lost, but I wasn't like bummed. Like the first loss that I had in my career, that one fucked with me.